Hey there, rock and roll aficionados. Today, we have a legendary guitarist in the spotlight, Keith Richards, the man himself, known for his gritty sound and iconic riffs. In this video, we'll count down his top 10 most iconic riffs of all time. Let's jump right into the Stones' world of timeless classic. Let It Bleed's epic, nearly 7-minute side B introduction, described to Keith Richards as a blues opera, basically, was composed by Jagger and Richards while on vacation in a sun-drenched Amalfi Coast hamlet in 1968, similar to Monkey Man. The guitar sections, entirely played by Richards on a hollow-body Matin EG 240, the title Midnight Rambler, and the song's lyrics were reportedly inspired by the notorious Boston Strangler Albert DeSalvo, a dark theme that the gritty, bluesy riff effectively supports. Richards spent several hours refining this performance, ultimately offering the ideal, sinuous counter to Jagger's mournful harmonica playing in standard tuning with a capo on the 7th fret. The riff, a foot-stomping, blues-infused combination of notes, captures the dark and moody essence of the song. It is probable that Keith Richards devised the riff in his characteristic open tuning style, using a mix of rhythm and lead guitar elements to create a layered, compelling sound. Richards often drew inspiration from the great blues musicians of the past, such as Muddy Waters and Chuck Berry, and Midnight Rambler showcases those influences.
Well, you heard about the Boston.
During this period, the band would often compose and rehearse in various locations. One can imagine Richards stumbling upon the riff during a late-night session, matching it with the song's dark, predatory lyrics and theme. The energy of the band, coupled with their raw, youthful enthusiasm, would have molded the song into the powerful track we know today. Despite not being released as a single, Midnight Rambler became one of the Rolling Stones' most iconic live tracks, with the potent riff becoming a staple of their performances. It remains a testament to the Stones' ability to blend rock and blues into a unique and compelling sound.
Yeah, you see me shut the bedroom door.
So, the next time you listen to Midnight Rambler and find yourself swept up by its irresistible rhythm and energy, remember the context of its creation. It's not just a song, it's a piece of rock and roll history. Tumbling Dice stands out as one of the greatest riffs of all time. This timeless masterpiece encapsulates the essence of rock music and has left an indelible mark on the genre. Here's why Keith Richards' Tumbling Dice riff is considered the greatest of all time. Irresistible groove. The Tumbling Dice riff is nothing short of infectious. Its rhythmic simplicity is its strength, with Richards weaving a perfect blend of blues, rock, and soul into the fabric of the song. The riff's groove is impossible to resist, making it a must-listen for rock enthusiasts. Seamless fusion of styles. Keith Richards has a knack for blending various musical influences into his guitar work, in Tumbling Dice, creating a sound that's unique and unforgettable. The riff's versatility is evident, appealing to a broad spectrum of music lovers. Catchy and memorable. The best riffs are the ones that stick in your head, and Tumbling Dice does just that. Its simplicity and melodic catchiness make it instantly recognizable. From the very first notes, you know you're in for a rock and roll classic. Timeless appeal. Tumbling Dice has a timeless quality that has made it relevant in various musical eras. It doesn't feel dated or confined to a specific time period. The riff's enduring appeal is a testament to its brilliance and adaptability. Simplicity and complexity. The beauty of Richard's riff lies in its deceptively simple structure. It's composed of just a few basic chords and notes, but it's how he plays them that makes all the difference. His subtle nuances, timing, and tone give it a depth and complexity that is a masterclass in guitar craftsmanship. Iconic tone. Richard's signature open G tuning and his use of a 5-string Telecaster are integral to the riff's unmistakable tone. The grit and warmth in his guitar sound add an extra layer of authenticity to the song. Many guitarists have tried to emulate it, but few can capture that unique timbre. Complementary to the song, the Tumbling Dice riff doesn't just exist in isolation. It perfectly complements the song's lyrics and Mick Jagger's vocal delivery. It creates a symbiotic relationship, enhancing the overall musical experience and adding to the song's narrative. Influence and inspiration. This riff has left an indelible mark on the world of rock and roll and has inspired countless musicians. It's a testament to the power of Keith Richards' guitar work that this riff continues to be a reference point for aspiring guitarists. Live performances. The riff truly comes alive in the Rolling Stones' live performances. Keith Richards' charisma and stage presence add an extra layer of magic to the riff, making it a defining moment in the band's concerts. It's a testimony to the riff's versatility, that it can rock an arena just as effectively as it does in the recording studio. Keith Richards' Tumbling Dice riff is the greatest of all time because it possesses a rare combination of infectious groove, timelessness, simplicity with complexity, iconic tone, complementarity to the song, influence and inspiration, and electrifying live performances. It's a shining example of the power of rock and roll, and it continues to capture the hearts of music enthusiasts around the world, making it a true masterpiece in the pantheon of rock music history. That unmistakable riff, a product of Keith Richards playing around on his newly acquired acoustic guitar. But this wasn't just any acoustic. Keith had fitted a pickup to his acoustic guitar, plugged it into a cassette player, cranked up the volume, and what resulted was that gritty, overdriven sound we hear on Street Fighting Man. Emphasizing the power of music in times of change. Today, Street Fighting Man stands not just as a testament to the Rolling Stones' prowess, but as a reflection of an era of change, challenge, and rebellion. Like all art, the song transcended its creators, becoming an anthem for generations seeking to voice their aspirations, fears, and defiance. So the next time you hear that unmistakable riff, remember, you're not just listening to a song, you're hearing history. Did you know? No! Street Fighting Man is one of Keith Richards' favorite Stones songs. It's the kind of record you love to make, and they don't come around that often. Exhilarating ride from start to finish. Monkey Man, from the Rolling Stones' 1969 album Let It Bleed, is a masterpiece of punchy rhythm, swaggering vocals, and of course, the memorable and infectious guitar riff. This riff, crafted by the legendary Keith Richards, is an electrifying mix of rhythm and lead guitar styles that catapults the song into the annals of rock and roll history. Keith Richards plays all the guitars, reaching deep into his arsenal of tricks to create the atmospheric C minor descent of the opening, the triumphant slide solo, and the magnificent main riff, which takes a simple, repeated chord figure and transforms it into a furious simian fist of funk, using every hammer-on, pull-off, walking bass note, and dissonant tone at his disposal. The opening piano line, played by Nicky Hopkins, sets an anticipatory tone before the track explodes into its full riff-driven glory. The guitar work is interlaced with a vibraphone, bringing a unique flavor to the sound. Did you know? The vibraphone played by Bill Wyman as well as the bass on the track. But it's the guitar riff, pure Richards, that hooks listeners and drives the song forward, embodying the gritty, raw energy that the Rolling Stones were renowned for. Monkey Man was allegedly a playful jab at the band's own rock and roll lifestyle, a sort of self-deprecating humor embedded within a powerful rock anthem. Newsweek called it ecstatic, ironic, all-powerful, an erotic exorcism for a doomed decade. Gimme Shelter is one of the Rolling Stones' most iconic and enduring songs, both for its haunting melody and its poignant lyrics, and its famous opening riff. Over the years, Gimme Shelter has been hailed as one of the greatest rock songs ever recorded. Like Sympathy, before it took something special musically to cement its place as one of the greatest songs of all time. And this factor is Keith's immortal guitar intro. The legendary opening riff, which sets the haunting tone for the song, was crafted by Keith Richards. He was inspired to write it during a stormy night in London. Keith had been experimenting with an open tuning on his guitar, and this dark, ominous setting seemed to call forth the melody from him. Richards said the entire song came together in his basement. Did you know? The song was the last hurrah for Keith's 1960s Maiden. It was just at the end of recording, just as we're tailing off on Gimme Shelter, and I feel this sort of rubbery feeling. Everything's going rubbery. And the neck just fell off. I said, well, thank God it's a fade-out, because obviously this song is over. By morning, he had the basic structure and some lyrics sketched out. Mick Jagger later came in to refine and add to the lyrics, creating the version of Gimme Shelter we know today. Gimme Shelter, its sense of foreboding, coupled with its reflection of the societal and political upheaval of the time, has made it timeless. The song's riff, melody, and lyrics come together to create a potent musical statement that resonates with listeners even decades after its release. In the pantheon of legendary guitar riffs, few are as instantly recognizable or as universally adored as Keith Richards' intro to the Rolling Stones, I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Since its inception in 1965, this riff has epitomized the rebellious spirit of rock and roll and has left an indelible mark on the fabric of music history. Instantly recognizable. From the moment the first note hits, it's unmistakable. Before Richards even completes the sequence, listeners across the globe know exactly what song they're about to embark on. The simple, yet commanding three-note blast sets the stage, making it one of the most iconic introductions in rock history. Simplicity is key. It's not overly complex, nor does it need to be. Its beauty lies in its simplicity, yet it's anything but mundane. In just a few notes, Richards captures the ethos of a generation, channeling raw energy and youthful defiance. Timelessness. Despite its roots in the mid-60s, the riff feels as fresh and relevant today as it did over half a century ago. It's transcended time and generational divides, proving that true art never ages. Influence and legacy. Countless musicians cite "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" as an influence. From its impact on contemporaneous rock bands to its inspiration for future guitarists, this riff laid the groundwork for what was possible with just 6 strings and a pick. The happy accident. The legend goes that Keith Richards conceived the riff in a dream, recorded a rough version of it on a cassette player, and then fell back asleep. The very idea that one of rock's most iconic moments came from a fleeting dream adds to its mystique and allure. Universal appeal. The riff doesn't just resonate with the rock aficionados, it's universally appreciated. Its broad appeal is a testament to its power and reach. Emotionally charged. When paired with Mick Jagger's raw and raucous vocals, the riff not only provides a musical foundation, but also amplifies the song's message of discontent and desire. It's not just a series of notes, it's an emotion. In summary, while there are many fantastic riffs that have graced our ears over the decades, Keith Richards' "I Can't Get No Satisfaction" stands unparalleled. It's a masterclass in musical innovation, embodying the heart and soul of rock and roll. Its impact is not just historical but ongoing, as it continues to inspire and electrify generations of listeners and musicians alike. The electric guitar riff is an iconic cornerstone of rock music, setting the stage for countless anthems that have blazed across radio airwaves and concert arenas. Yet, amidst a pantheon of celebrated riffs, Keith Richards' opening salvo for "Start Me Up" stands as a monumental testament to the power of simplicity, infectiousness, and pure rock and roll spirit. Here's why it's arguably the best riff of all time. Timelessness. Great music is perennial. It transcends time, culture, and geography. The "Start Me Up" riff, with its undeniable swagger, taps into an elemental groove that resonates with listeners across generations. Three decades after its debut, it continues to be a staple in classic rock playlists, not merely for nostalgia, but for its raw, undying energy. Simplicity. Keith Richards has often championed the beauty of simplicity in rock music, and this riff is a masterclass in that philosophy. It isn't the most complicated sequence of notes, but its brilliance lies in its immediacy and catchiness. Within seconds, the listener is hooked, and it becomes virtually impossible not to nod along or tap your foot.
Well, take your business that you never heard.
Universality. Whether you're in a stadium of 50,000 fans or in your car alone on a drive, the Start Me Up riff has a universally uplifting and invigorating effect. Its broad appeal can be attributed to its perfect blend of rhythm and melody, making it accessible, yet distinctive. The air guitar effect. There's an intrinsic quality to some riffs that make listeners instinctively play along. The Start Me Up riff is a prime example. Its structure is so compelling that it invites even the most musically challenged to become a momentary rock star in their living room. Perfect synchronization with lyrics and rhythm. While the riff is an entity on its own, its integration with the song's rhythm and lyrics enhances its impact. The driving drum beat, Jagger's distinctive vocals, and the song's risque lyrics all combine to make it an audacious declaration of rock and roll intent. Embodiment of the Stones' essence. If one were to capture the spirit of the Rolling Stones in a few seconds of music, the Start Me Up riff would be it. It encapsulates their rebellious nature, their musical prowess, and their undying relevance in the ever-evolving world of rock. While there are many iconic guitar riffs that have shaped the trajectory of rock music, Keith Richards' Start Me Up holds a special place. It isn't just a sequence of notes, it's a symbol of what rock music is all about: raw emotion, boundless energy, and timeless appeal. That is why, for many, it stands unmatched as the best riff of all time. Jumpin' Jack Flash is one of the Rolling Stones' most iconic songs, released in 1968. In the pantheon of legendary rock guitar riffs, Keith Richards' creation for Jumpin' Jack Flash shines as a beacon, effortlessly cementing its place as one of the best, if not the best, of all time. The very essence of this riff exemplifies not just the sound of the Rolling Stones, but the sound of rock and roll itself. Here's why. One of the hallmarks of Keith Richards' genius is his ability to distill the essence of rock into a few perfectly chosen notes. The Jumpin' Jack Flash riff is deceptive in its simplicity. While the notes might be easily replicated, the groove, the swing, and the attitude behind it are Richards' own. Within a split second of hearing that iconic opening, you know what song it is. There are very few riffs in the world that command that instant recognition and elicit such a visceral response. Despite its origins in the late 1960s, the riff has not aged a day. It's as fresh, vibrant, and relevant today as it was when it was first released. Its universality and adaptability make it a favorite for both artists, covering the track and for movie soundtracks needing an iconic punch. Played on an open-tuned guitar, the Jumpin' Jack Flash riff has a raw, bright, and unique sound. Richards' understanding of how to leverage open tunings adds a richness and resonance to the riff that makes it stand out from countless others. Many guitarists have cited this riff as an influence, aiming to replicate its magic or draw inspiration from its energy. Its presence can be felt in numerous songs across generations, proving its importance in the tapestry of rock history. More than just notes on a guitar, the Jumpin' Jack Flash riff evokes feelings, whether it's a sense of rebellion, the thrill of youth, or the sheer joy of rock and roll. Every strum seems to resonate with the human soul, making listeners not just hear, but feel the music. Jumpin' Jack Flash, as a song has Mick Jagger's distinct vocals, a compelling rhythm section, and a catchy chorus. Yet it's Richards' riff that drives the song, pulling it all together into a rock masterpiece. While the world of rock and roll is blessed with many unforgettable riffs, Keith Richards' Jumpin' Jack Flash holds a special place, standing tall as a testament to pure musical genius. It's a confluence of history, talent, and raw energy. A riff that will undoubtedly continue to inspire and electrify for generations to come. Can't You Hear Me Knocking? By the Rolling Stones from their 1971 Sticky Fingers is often cited as an exemplary piece in the rock canon, largely due to Keith Richards' compelling guitar riff that introduces and propels the song. Here's why many regard this riff as the greatest of all time. Its infectious groove is instantly recognizable. It possesses an undeniable swagger and attitude that defines the essence of rock and roll. It's a riff that grabs your attention from the very first note and refuses to let go. The beauty of Keith Richards' riff lies in its paradoxical nature. On the surface, it may seem simple, but it's deceptively complex. It's not about flashy guitar pyrotechnics. It's about capturing a feeling and groove that is relatable and irresistible. The riff is rooted in the blues, which is the foundation of rock and roll. Keith Richards has a deep understanding of the blues, and this riff is a masterful fusion of bluesy sensibilities and rock and roll energy. It pays homage to the genre's origins while pushing the boundaries of what rock guitar can achieve. While it's a quintessential rock riff, it also has a versatility that allows it to cross genre boundaries. It has been covered and sampled in various musical contexts, highlighting its adaptability and broad appeal. When performed live, this riff takes on a life of its own. It becomes a showcase for Keith Richards' stage presence and the band's ability to connect with the audience. It's a moment that fans eagerly await during Rolling Stones concert. This riff is an integral part of the Rolling Stones' signature sound. It defines the band and serves as a touchstone for their entire body of work. There's a gritty determination in that opening riff. It's not just a series of notes, it tells a story. It sets a mood. Whether you've heard it once or 100 times, it still evokes a visceral reaction, transporting listeners to a particular place and time. In the pantheon of iconic guitar riffs, Keith Richards' Can't You Hear Me Knocking holds a special place. It's not just about the technical aspects, it's about the feel, the soul behind those notes. It stands as a testament to Richards' genius, capturing the heart and spirit of rock and roll in just a few bars. There's a reason why certain riffs in rock history transcend generations and remain iconic years after they first graced our ears. Keith Richards' opening riff in Honky Tonk Woman by the Rolling Stones is one such indelible mark on the canvas of music history.
Take me upstairs for a ride.
So, why is this seemingly simple combination of notes considered by many as the greatest riff of all time?
How do you make that sound out of that guitar? It's not even an electric guitar.
Well, I don't know.
Well, you do it, and you did it, and...
I know I can do it, but I don't know how I do it.
One of the hallmarks of a great riff is that from the moment you hear it, you immediately recognize the song. The Honky Tonk Woman riff accomplishes this with resounding success. Its distinctive open-tuned guitar sound coupled with that cowbell intro means you know exactly what's coming next. Greatness often lies in simplicity, and the Honky Tonk Woman riff is a testament to this. Using an open G tuning, Richards crafted a riff that's both easy to play and incredibly catchy.
Because it's true to an open G, right? And if you're gonna do Honky Tonk Women or something,
It's this simplicity that allows guitarists of all levels to engage with it, making the song's legacy even more powerful. There's an infectious, raw energy in the riff. It's gritty, it's dirty, and it encapsulates the essence of rock and roll. The story behind the creation of this iconic riff and the song itself is quite interesting and full of unique elements of rock and roll history. The legend has it that the song was born during the band's trip to Brazil in early 1969. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, the leading creative forces of the Rolling Stones, were on vacation in Matão, São Paulo, taking a break from their chaotic life and seeking inspiration for their upcoming work. Keith Richards came up with the catchy, cowbell-infused riff while at the ranch. However, it wasn't honky-tonk bars and women that inspired it. In contrast to the song's lyrics, the surroundings were rural, with wide-open fields, horses, and a serene atmosphere. The setting offered a peaceful environment where creativity could flow undisturbed. The original concept for the song was quite different from what it ended up being. It was first conceived as an acoustic country song titled Country Honk. In this version, the lyrics painted a picture of a rural setting.
I'm sitting in a bar, pimpling a jar in Jackson.
However, when the band returned to London and started working in the studio, the song underwent a significant transformation. Inspired by the energy of the city and the vibrant music scene, the band decided to give the song an electric makeover. With the addition of the gritty, amplified guitar riff, the honky-tonk beat, and Jagger's evocative vocals, the song morphed into Honky Tonk Women. Within the landscape of the song itself, the riff acts as an anchor, The lyrical narrative, which centers around a romance with a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis,
I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis.
perfectly complements the bluesy, honky-tonk feel of the riff.
She tried to take me upstairs for a ride.
The ripple effects of Honky Tonk Woman and its signature riff can be felt throughout the rock genre. Countless musicians cite Richards and the Rolling Stones as a key influence. And this song, in particular, has inspired a multitude of guitarists to pick up the instrument for the first time.
I met a gin-soaked barroom queen in Memphis.
Beyond just the world of music, Honky Tonk Woman and its riff have seeped into popular culture and referenced in films, TV shows, and countless other mediums, ensuring its place in the zeitgeist. While music, by its very nature, is subjective, there are certain compositions, certain moments that seem to transcend individual tastes and stand as monoliths in the vast terrain of musical history. Keith Richards' riff in Honky Tonk Woman is one such moment. Whether you're a rock aficionado, a casual listener, or someone who just appreciates the art of a well-crafted song, the riff's power, energy, and sheer musicality make it deserving of its title as one of the greatest of all time. To this day, the cowbell-clanging, guitar-heavy introduction to Honky Tonk Women remains one of the most instantly recognizable riffs in rock music. True testament to the Rolling Stones' musical genius and lasting impact on popular music. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Stay tuned for next episode. Until next time, and keep on rolling.